At Echo, we believe it's time to get serious about your outdoor power equipment. It's time to trade up to Echo. Echo has been a leading innovator and manufacturer of outdoor power equipment in North America for over 40 years. And while a lot has changed over the years, one thing hasn't. Echo still makes only professional-grade outdoor power equipment. And we make it at a price you can afford. Echo equipment features an industry-leading 5-year consumer warranty. Get serious about your outdoor power equipment. Now is the time to trade up to Echo.
Save on blowers like the PB250LN for $149, the ES25 on sale for $199, and the PB500 and 580 priced at $299 during Echo's Fall National Sales Event.
I'm out here today at the V.A Hospital here in Dublin, where we have just finished a media engagement day. The administrator, which has been here about a year now, Miss Mary Alice Mora, she has done a wonderful job and put in so many programs since she came out here. And as you listen to some of the veterans talk in the next few minutes, you'll find out just how good our VA hospital here is in Dublin. Are we perfect? Absolutely not, but no one is. But the changes that she has put in place since she arrived here in Dublin about a year ago have been phenomenal. This VA hospital serves 52 counties throughout this part of Georgia. So you see how many patients come here. You can ride by at any time as you look out across this lot. Just a sea of cars that come here for all kind of services. And you saw the ribbon cutting here just the last few months. They've just opened a hospice unit here on the campus of our Veterans Administration Hospital. So we're so proud of our VA hospital here in town. And you're going to listen here for the next few minutes at some of the topics that were discussed today in the very first media engagement day here at the VA hospital.
Well, thanks and good morning, and once again, thanks to everyone for being here. I always start with thanking the community for their unwavering support of our mission and of our veterans. We have had, just in the last month, I don't know how many different activities, and some of them were large-scale activities. October is Mental Health Awareness Month, and a lot of other associated Breast Cancer Awareness Month, a lot of big sort of national recognition month or events that pertain to various disease entities or health issues. And so to highlight a lot of that, there were many activities. Angie and her team had a very successful first ever 5K from the American Legion that looped through our campus, and we hope to build on that next year. We had a 2-day sort of event, one all-day Friday in-house with a lot of, and this was for the mental health, personal testimony of our veterans with a lot of support from the community, and then a huge fall festival out on our front lawn that I think was a great success, at least for those that participated in. We had wonderful outpouring of support from our community partners on that as well. Well attended. The veterans, especially those that are our veterans that are in our community living centers or in our domiciliary, really enjoyed it, and the food was great, the activities and the entertainment was great. There was a climbing wall from the National Guard that I think was probably the #1 event for the kids and the grown-ups. And then just prior to that, in September, we had our Vietnam Welcome Home, our first ceremony. That we plan to do that a couple of times more. In fact, we're going to do something. Well, I'm going to attend an event that's being planned by the folks in Brunswick. Just a reminder that we do serve a lot of counties here in Georgia, not just Dublin, but we really enjoy that community support everywhere. So what's going on inside? I've got a new chief of staff that is, now probably 6-month veteran of Dublin and getting his feet wet and really doing some great things. His strength is in recruiting physicians, and he, hit the ground running doing that. So I just signed privileges for, I think, 3 new docs yesterday, which is always good. So we continue to be marginally successful with our recruiting efforts, and every time we get a few on, sometimes I lose a few, and of course that's what's going on right now. Our access has improved and continues to improve. choice continues to vex many of our veterans, and I ask my VSO partners here, to join with us. It's getting better. In fact, beginning this week, our partner HealthNet is now making outbound calls. Before it had to be veteran-driven. Now, when we send them all the information, they should be getting a call from the Choice, which is HealthNet behind the scenes. And I think that will help improve communication and not wait. One of the initial requirements in the contract was the veteran had to make the initial call to our partner to initiate that community care. Now, beginning this past week, it has changed, and now our managed care partner can actually contact the veteran. So I think that will open up and make things go. I am engaged constantly with HealthNet, with the rest of the VA, with our veterans, with you guys to get that word out. It's here to stay, and we're going to make it work. So there are growing pains with it, certainly. As each day and each week goes by, we try to figure out what isn't going well, work to make it better. I had one of the HealthNet sort of senior leaders for our area here all day on Friday to understand from our perspective how things work, what doesn't work, and so he can kind of work it on his end and it's really communication. It's sort of making sure that our community healthcare partners understand the rules of engagement, that our veterans understand the rules of engagement, and it will still be difficult, but I think it's getting maybe a little bit better. And so all of us really need to work together to make sure that we're educating the veterans. Stick with it. It will get better. The care in the community is excellent. We want them to use the care in the community. We want to get it in quicker than it's happening right now. And so, we never end. It's a constant work in progress. But we've sent, I don't know, probably about 3,000 or more veterans since I've been here to Choice, or to the community through Choice. So they are getting the care. The folks that live 40 miles out that can, do it on their own, that part seems to be working fairly well. It's the stuff that we have to, like the pass-through of us, that then goes out because we either don't have the service internally or are too far backed up to be able to get to see them in a timely manner. For example, neurology, can I see them within 30 days? We have one neurologist, and sadly he has gone out on extended leave for, we don't know when he'll be back. So we can't do any neurology right now in-house, except for some telehealth that we do with our partners in Tuscaloosa. So all of those things are constantly ebbing and changing of what we can do in-house, what we can't do in-house. And the community is great. They want to see our veterans. They're willing to sign up for Choice. So if you have if a veteran has an orthopedic surgeon that they love out in the community that hasn't signed up for Choice, we call them and say, please sign up for Choice. And I have yet to have anybody say, no, we're not going to see Choice. Now, sometimes the billing offices will get also a little upset with us because we're not paying them as quickly as possible. Part of that is linked to getting the notes back. We want to know what our community partners have seen, and so the disconnect there has delayed some payment, but we are usually able to sort that out and get the provider back on the ability to see Choice. I have yet to meet anyone in town that doesn't want to see Choice. Now, you have to understand that our community partners, the smaller they are, the more difficult it may be for them to see a lot of Choice because it's the whole reimbursement and it's all tied to Medicare rates. So if they have a percentage of Medicare patients that they're seeing, a veteran is in that same category of reimbursement. Some of them can't survive if all they see is that Medicare reimbursement rate. They need people that are insured to keep themselves viable because Medicare, the government's always the lowest payer. So there's all sorts of that, but they still see veterans. They may only see one a month, but they'll see them. So that's kind of where we are with Choice. Again, it takes all of us, to be on the same page and understand the difficulties. And if any of you, my VSO reps, hear of things, always send that to us, and we will work behind the scenes to unclog whatever's holding people up or wherever the issues are, and make sure that the veterans are getting care. So, and that's kind of the main thing. We have ongoing construction projects, as you can see. Our hospice is in business. We have our first hospice patient out there. We had the ribbon cutting a while ago. There were still some facility issues that we were finalizing, getting the rest of the staff on board, but we are now open and running, and I'm thrilled about that. What a beautiful facility for our veterans in that need that very special care. in their experience. So I think that's exciting.
Bowling at Shamrock Bowling Center is family fun at its best, so spare some time and head on over to Shamrock Bowling Center at 104 Bowling Lane. Enjoy bowling on our 24 lanes. Grab a bite at Simple's Cafe. Visit the Emerald Lounge, and everybody loves the game arcade and pool room. Let the good times roll at Shamrock Bowling Center. Look for our specials, including Wacky Wednesdays from 6 until 10 p.m. $2.50 per game, $2.50 shoe rental. Call Shamrock Bowling Center today for group rates, parties, and general information at 272-2477. That's 272-2477. Shamrock Bowling Center, where the good times roll.
Thank you, Ms. Morrow. And I want to start out by saying thank you to the media for being here today, and not just the ones that's here today, but for the local media and the newspapers and television stations that continue to help us through Dr. Jordan get the good news stories out, as well as continue to be transparent throughout the facility on what's going on with our veterans in the facility. To our VSO groups, I appreciate them for their support, to not just to voluntary service, but to the facility also. And there's a lot of great things that we've done throughout the year, and are going to continue to work toward for the upcoming year. And we're going to need not only our VSOs, but our community stakeholders to assist us with making it being a successful year next year. You know, we're coming out of the summer service, which was great for the facility. We got the opportunity to stand up our summer leadership program through voluntary service and through our customer service section. But it allowed us to bring in our youth, which is so important, give them experiences working in an environment, whether they go on to healthcare careers or whether they go into a different career field. We think that the experience that they got this summer is going to help them as young men and women, whatever future endeavor they decide to go toward. You know, coming out of summer service, we also had as Ms. Morrow mentioned earlier, we had the 50th Vietnam Commemoration ceremony here at the facility, which we think was a huge success. We got the opportunity once again to recognize those Vietnam veterans for their service, the recognition they didn't get years ago. And those recognition ceremonies will continue throughout the next couple of years here at Carl Vinson and our C-Box. We also had a 50th commemoration ceremony in Perry, Georgia, as well as in Macon at our Macon Vet Center, where we honored, I think, 38 veterans. So we'll continue to do that and make sure we give them the recognition that they so much deserve. During the year, we set up several initiatives, and that's why I say to the media, thank you for helping us get the good news stories out, because the more the community hear good news stories, the greater chance they're able to come out and give and know what we need for our veterans. One of the things we stood up was the iPad initiative, which gave us the opportunity for veterans to, that for one reason or another, their family members cannot visit with them during the year. Now they can, through Skype and through use of iPads, they can talk to those family members, those granddaughters, grandsons, and the loved ones and friends that they haven't seen in years. They got the opportunity to keep that communication going now. So we're grateful to have the iPad initiative set up in the hospital, and we're going to continue to put even more iPads out there for our veterans and to improve that communication between them and their family and their loved ones. We have the Honors Escort program, which has been very successful for us. We thought it was very important for us to, as Carl Vinson, to take the step toward the Honors Escort program, which allows us to honor those veterans, those deceased veterans, and honor their families for their sacrifice and their service. And you know, not only during the time what they spent here at Carl Vinson, but even during the time of when they expire, we want to still show the families that we so much care about our veterans, and that it's important that during that time in their lives, the family members, that we give them support, but most of all, we give that veteran that last recognition that he or she deserves as a veteran. Another initiative that, you know, we try to hear from our veterans what's going to make it, you know, every idea is important here. So we try to look at areas to make it better every day for our veteran experience, healthcare experience. And one of the things was putting in this for safety. You know, our veterans, wheelchair veterans, often outside throughout the facility. So we added the flag, which is the orange safety flag, to the wheelchairs, for they can be more visible when they're traveling outside, and some of them even go across the street to the local stores. So that's one of the other initiatives that we put forth. You know, we've done a lot of work in Carl Vinson and continue to try to improve the access rate, okay, but one of the things is what's making it just really important is that we get the community and our stakeholders involved. And I think when Ms. Morrow came on board for the first time, we was able to get all the VSO leadership together to talk about what was good for our veterans. And the same thing with some of our community leaders and our citizens came together to work on items such as fixing Leisure Lake, which is the pond next door to us, for our veterans to have somewhere to fish and to go out and spend some time, quality time, during the summer months and spring months. So the community had rallied together through different organizations, different citizens, to put that together for our veterans, and we're very appreciative of it. And we'll continue those partnerships. One of the things that Dr. Jordan, who's our Chief of Communication and Stakeholders Group, we try to increase the awareness of what we do at Carl Vinson VA Medical Center. A lot of people pass by here every day and don't realize that. I always tell them that this is their VA center. Please come in. Please find out what's going on with our veterans, how they live, what we're doing new, what are the things that we're trying to change about it. So we're getting more and more groups that visit us each day, whether it's a local group here in the community or a civic group, or VSO groups come through to find out what's going on with the veterans. And I tell you, one of the great things we have, we've gotten a lot of support from our local military installations here. We had a group from Fort Gordon come down from the medical command there in Fort Gordon. We also have next week, we have a group of the Army Band coming from Fort Stewart, Georgia, to play for our veterans here. Robins Air Force Base has been a huge supporter of us and our events that we have, and we'll continue to work with them, as well as some of our local National Guard, the Army Guard and Reserve. And I think it's hugely important for them to know what's going on with our veterans here, because so many of them are veterans themselves. So we'll continue to work with our local military installations. We always welcome them into the facility to work with us, and if they have some insight on how to make it better for the veterans, but most of all, I think it's important for key leaders to know what we have going on at the facility. Some of the things that we want to work toward next year for our veterans, one is same as last year. You know, transportation continues to be a huge issue. We have the Choice Act, Choice One, Purchase Care. It's important that we get those veterans to those appointments, because every missed appointment is an appointment that another veteran could have made. And so we've increased the routes throughout the Disabled American Veterans this year have worked with us to increase the routes from our local communities to those appointments. And we're continually needing new drivers as our drivers get older. So we'll work toward the transportation piece. We always welcome new drivers, whether it's local or whether it's at some of our outlying facilities, to help us get our veterans back and forth, all right? And the clothing is another one that we want to work toward next year, to make sure that our veterans have the clothing that they need when they come into our homeless program, so they can go back out and meet those job interviews. So we're going to continue to work on clothing for our veterans as well as comfort items. And our VSO groups here have been a huge part of making sure that those items are here for our veterans, and we appreciate your support on that. And you know, we have a lot of community support stakeholders, citizens that come out and work with us in partnerships. And I just got off the phone this morning with one of the largest corporations there in Warner Robins. We want to improve that next year, work with more corporations, more corporate sponsors. They want to give to our veterans. We just got to be able to present the need to them and bring the biggest impact on our veterans. So for any large group, small business, corporate group that want to come in and work with our veterans, we love to have them. Not just give money, items, but one of the biggest things we can do is give back to our veterans, is come in and spend time with them also. So some of the local corporations have volunteer groups that they put together that they want to come out and do initiative for our veterans, and we welcome that. And through those corporate sponsors and VSO groups, we've had an opportunity to do a lot more for our veterans. Our recreation therapy department this year, Ms. Cecily Jones and her group has worked hard on trying to have more activities for our veterans, be more creative, get them out into the communities, get them back doing some of the things they once loved when they was maybe younger, when they was more active before coming to the facility. So whether it's going to the fair, going to baseball games, Braves games, just local activities in the community.
Football.
High school football, which is a big one. Thank you, Ms. Mara. Yes. We want to continue that for the veterans. It takes a little bit of sometimes funding, but through the support that we receive from our donors and from our support groups, VSOs, stakeholders, I think we can continue that. This is a good time of the year, and I'll close on this, is that we're going to start out next year and this whole month recognizing our veteran, not next year, next week, and this whole month recognizing our veterans. And we have our Veterans Day ceremony next week on November the 11th at 11 a.m. And we get a chance to hear from our own Ms. Mary Alice Morrow, our director, is going to be our guest speaker. So we welcome you to come out, and during the month we have a lot of groups that's going to continue to come out and visit with our veterans, spend time with them, and we encourage that, and we continue that on throughout the holiday season to make sure our veterans get some holiday gifts, the holiday spirit, and that each veteran have a joyous holiday season. So again, any groups that want to come out, we got a lot of support last year, and I think we're going to have the same support this year. We welcome that for them to come out to the facility. But for every, I would close saying it's a challenge, but it's a good challenge. It's that we take on every day of voluntary service to find better ways for our veterans. But it's a very good experience to know that you can call on VSO groups, you can call on different citizens that's going to come through for you and make it happen regardless of what that veteran need is. So I appreciate everybody's support, and once again, thank you to the media for being here.
Choose the convenience of Neighbors Express and get friendly, courteous service every time you visit any of our convenient locations. Fill up with pay at the pump and take advantage of our bigger and better selection of beverages and tobacco products. Buy 12 packs of Pepsi products, 2 for $6.99. Enjoy the popular crushed ice with your favorite fountain drink. Also enjoy a fresh, hot breakfast. Stop by for lunch or dinner. It's always fresh, always convenient at Neighbors Express. Now located on Central Drive at East Dublin at I-16 and 441, and in Cedar Grove, providing farm fuel for all our customers. Count on the convenience of Neighbors Express.
The concrete pad should be laid shortly in in Tipton for our new community-based outpatient clinic that's going to go up there. So they've been a little bit delayed because of all the soggy weather that we've had in the last week, but that's about to happen, and you'll see very quick progress from that. And we hope to be up and running by early summer at the latest for that. The two buildings, the dilapidated buildings that sit on the front of our campus, the requests for proposals should be solicited any day now. The central office has it. All of the necessary paperwork is getting done, and hopefully we'll be able to put a solicitation on the street in the very near future. And then also our mental health building that we're going to build on the front of our campus over closer towards the or on the Middle College of Georgia side is getting closer to going back out for bid. So that got delayed, that project, because it was a bid bust. So we've worked with the architect to change the design a little bit, and we'll be going back out for solicitation on that very soon too. So those are our big projects that you'll see coming up quickly. And Middle Georgia, now University, all sorts of opportunities. They are increasing a lot of the programs that they offer, many of which will benefit both our veterans and our staff here at Carl Benson in terms of some of the educational opportunities that are coming along. So I just wanted to put that out there again.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
I was glad to see that. And that was a very shock, because we did have a meeting that morning and we were all together, and it was a big shock to see him pass away that fast, and that honor guard, and I got to participate in that, and I praise all the staff, and I did want to, I pushed for it when we first started meeting, right. And I just wanted to say that I'm glad it's done.
Thank you.
one thing I'd like to say, from the time that you came and from the time just previous to you back, it's difference of night and day for the veterans. One way and one way best. You listen. We haven't had that at Dublin in a long time. I know that you don't interrupt in the middle of everything, you know, but the listening is there. Second thing is, seems like the veteran is more relaxed now. If you walk the halls, you know, I talk to them all the time. They stop me all the time, you know, and I can see them more relaxed. And one other thing, I'm a patient here since '78, and the one thing I've noticed is mental health. Okay, and without it, I don't know where I'd be, really. But I'm still going. I'm still seeing, and it's only because the new personnel that you brought on, and especially Dr. Morgan. He former Army, and he kind of understands, you know, and that helps. And I've heard, you know, not only me, but other veterans say that it's nice to see somebody who can understand.
Oh, great.
You know,
Yeah.
and I commend you for that.
Thank you. And I have to say, you know, again, I'm humbled and privileged to be in this particular job. You know, veterans are what I've served my whole career taking care of, and I'm thrilled to continue to do that. But I can't do it by myself, and I have a fantastic staff here at Carl Vinson. We're not perfect, but, you know, people come here, they want to do a good job. They're proud of their service to the veterans. You're seeing more and more veterans, I think, join our staff, which is always great. That program, you know, has really produced some great new citizens to the local community, you know, with all of the programs and the opportunities. So thank you for that. I appreciate that.
In Warner Robins, in Chapter 33 in Warner Robins, for the Disabled American Veterans, I took 8 packages for volunteers, okay? And I've got 5 people that are willing to come up with me next week. And I'm see Sue about that.
All right.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And I just, they don't, you know, a lot of them don't want to drive, but what they want to do is help.
Yep.
And it shows that Chapter 33 is coming around
Great.
to the point where we weren't before, okay? We're the closest DAV, and we're 50 miles away.
Yeah.
One thing I would love to see is a Disabled American Veterans chapter in Dublin. I've been working for that end for 7 years. Every time I get on the verge of it, nothing, you know. So if there's anything that either veteran services or
Absolutely.
you know, volunteer services, I mean, can help with that, I would appreciate.
Okay.
But we need a chapter in Dublin.
And I think the chapter would be great for our community and for the veterans here in Dublin. They can continue to support our veterans. We'll continue to make the drive to pick up those items and get them here for the veterans. So,
Okay.
Yeah, we have people on the road all the time coming and going to our clinics, so
Right.
not hard to do that.
Are you gonna still hold the award ceremony tomorrow?
Am I going to what?
The award ceremony on all the awards tomorrow?
Is that scheduled for tomorrow?
I thought we were gonna do that tomorrow. I thought that was scheduled tomorrow, Swan.
What's them on all the war?
All the.
For all your personnel of the
Yeah,
quarter?
that's what you know what?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't have my tomorrow calendar, but I'll look. Yeah, sorry. I don't know. That would be a Keith Griffin thing, and
Yeah.
it's the Veterans Council
Okay.
elects. Dana, can you check on that for me? And we'll get back to you, Mr. Benson, let you know when that is.
No,
And we did do some recognitions at the employee town hall last week.
Yeah, but we need to do them on the
Right,
unit too.
right,
We were
right.
waiting for the pictures. I don't know if they're ready.
They haven't asked me about this.
Okay, we may have a disconnect. Have you heard, is there something scheduled for tomorrow?
I thought that was what we were gonna do when we had that meeting the other day.
Oh, the poster
You know,
things
the
to come
poster
in
board.
so that we can, you know, have them as part of the presentation. And I don't know that we have them yet. So let me check, I'll get back to you.
Talking to my counselor down there, Mr. Ruffington, we pointed out in all the reading and everything, they had classified me as a chronic PTSD, and he's helping me a lot. They helped me cope with that, and I come down here. I'm on about 3 or 4 different committees down here. I volunteer down here with Mr. Swan. He always calls me up and says, "Hey, we need this." And if I can make it, I'll come down there and make my time to participate. I love helping other veterans. Yeah. To me, it's more important. I've got 2 families, it's like I tell everybody. I got my blood family, and I got my veterans. And I trust my veterans more than I trust my family.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way I was in my unit. We had to trust one another.
That's true.
And if you don't trust one another, you ain't gonna get nowhere. And it's taken me years and years to get to trust other people. I'm on we started the mental health advocate board.
Oh, good. With Dr. or Mr. What's the gentleman's name? Big booming voice.
Right.
Mr. Holloway.
Holloway. Claude Holloway. Yes.
And that helps. We just started getting going. We should be in full motion by January.
Super.
And you have helped us a lot. We appreciate it. And Mr. Swanson and several other doctors here has helped us to get all this together. Mm-hmm. And Ms. Marla Roach is a great asset.
She's a rock star.
Yes, she is. And it just, like you were talking before, I've heard horror stories about the veterans in the past, and ever since I've come down here, and basically ever since you started down here, I think the veteran facility here, Dublin VA, has turned about a 190-degree turn, to the good. I mean, and volunteering services is a big part of that. Because if we didn't have the volunteering services or people like the boss lady,
it takes us all, and you and our volunteers too. So thank you.
I've seen a lot of improvements. We still got a few issues here and there, but I believe in the long run, with everybody's support, we can do this. And Dr. Franklin Jordan has helped me a lot in situations, and he's asked me to do a lot of things for him, and we're pretty good at working together. And because if I hear another veteran have a problem, I'll go. If I know Dr. Jordan can take care of it, I go with him, and he usually contacts me right off the bat, and contact the veteran right off the bat and say, "Hey, this is what's going on. It's going to get taken care of." Yeah. And I'm totally impressed with the staff and everything here. Yeah. A lot of the doctors they're more, and the nurses, especially the nurses, they're more down to earth to us. They're more concerned about us veterans and our problems. Because even if I don't go to my doctor, I see the nurses, and the nurses say, "Well, what's going on today with you? Where you been? I haven't seen you in a while." And they stop and ask me what I'm doing, and I figure that it helps me.
Good.
Because I'm really impressed with it and everything.
Good.
And all the programs Mr. Swanson's been coming up with, and you as well. I think it's outstanding to give the public a better view of what the VA actually does, to set all this down. Well, VA don't do this, VA don't do that. People don't see the good side of the veterans, the good side of what the VA and doctors and that are doing for us, and they don't want to see that. And I believe if more people see, how the veterans are reacting and how the hospitals do it, we get, the public would open their eyes more.
Yeah, and we certainly appreciate the strong support of our local media, because they do get our good news stories out. So thanks for that.
Hi, I'm Tim Brady Jr. with Dublin Ford Lincoln. And I'd like to thank all of our loyal friends and customers who have already stopped by to see our brand new state-of-the-art facility. And if you haven't stopped by, I'd like to invite you to come on out and see what we've done. I want you to know our customers deserve this, and we want you to come be a part of it. Come see us today at 2265 Veterans Boulevard. You'll love the place, you'll love the selection, and you'll love the deal we'll give you. Come see me today.
We at Chapter 33 have been, we had a problem about a month ago. We got burglarized. Oh. And well, the community has come to our help, but WMAZ has come to me, and I've been to Dean with this. They want to give us a van for 3 months use, and in that 3 months use, they want to do 60-second spots as what the DAV and the Transportation Service does for veterans in Middle Georgia. Okay.
Nice.
And I've gotten with Dean, but they couldn't do it this 3 months, but they're going to do it in January.
Okay.
So it'll be
Well, that's fantastic.
And I'll need his help, and I want to get them to understand that it's not just the DAV doing it. You know, that, we buy the vans, we turn them over to the VA gets them out, and the DAV drives them. But it's the VA that maintains them. Yeah. And it's the VA that makes sure that we're safe in them. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm trying to get out. Okay. But I wanted to give you a heads up.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'd be great. That's a great, great success story and partnership.
Margaret Blanc is the one doing it.
Fantastic.
Well, thank you for having me here today. I appreciate being involved in all of the things that I've been involved with. I'm like everyone else. I've seen so many improvements. I've been here since 1991. At one time, I was the youngest female patient in the VA, at the Dublin VA, when Mr. King had it. I've seen some improvements. There's a lot of improvements that we have to get done. The female side is just now starting to up and go. There are still some issues that we are working out, and there are so many improvements we've done. But even doing that, there has been one by one, 1 hour at a time, one patient at a time, there has been improvement. We are getting more programs for the females. We are getting more recognition for the females. Our patients seem to be getting younger and younger every day, and having more gender-specific issues than they used to. Used to, it's good old boys club. That's what the VA was for, and it's not that way anymore. And we are trying, and we're making great strides into changing that. Like I said, there's a lot of things that we have to work with. We have a new sexual trauma organization that we're working with. Yep. We have a new, I don't know the name, I can't remember the name of it, but it's specific PTSD, verified. Sorry, that's one. But so we do have those. Now, I'm also a cardiac patient. We still need so much that area, and I have a gentleman now that's in need of specific help right now with a pacemaker. So we really do need to start with that. But from when I had my heart surgery to me being taken care of now is night and day. And him the cardiologist working with my outside doctor is a big help.
It's a partnership.
Yes, and they know each other, and that's a huge help. The prescriptions have improved so much. Getting your prescriptions, the time of getting your prescriptions when they're mailed, you don't have to worry about going, if you do like you're supposed to, and order them before you completely go out. They get to you before you get out. You're not having to rush up here, say, I need 3 days worth, or, you know, things like that. The walk-in service, we still, you know, always. Now,
The goal is to not, well, the goal is to have same-day access so that
Yes.
the walk-in doesn't have to sit and wait, you know, for a spot to
but that's
open up.
always going to be an issue. That's the way at a regular doctor's office. So, you know, people complain, but they're going to complain about anything. You can't make everybody happy. I know that you praise the nurses. I have a lot of nurses that I do praise. They do a good job. But there are some that still need that, they still need structure. They still need that. Yes, they need that micromanagement. But I think everybody's starting to jump on board. I will say, in the community, Greg, you're usually behind the camera. You're not in the camera. And you're being recognized now throughout the community. And that's a good thing. Frank, you too. Of course you are. And Dean, I have been asked about you several times. The actual college, with internship and things like that, going through the volunteer services to get those hours, not just for nursing or CNAs or things like that, but for the programs for for clerical, for like public relations, things like that. So, I mean, I've spoke to them about that. So they know who y'all are, they just don't know where to start. There's a lot of programs out there that veterans are still not using because they don't know about them. DAV, okay? I could use you. I don't even know anything about your program. Okay, but the same way about the American Legion Ladies Auxiliary. You know, we're a family organization. We have everything from sons to the auxiliary for the juniors, from birth to death. I mean, we have those programs out there, but people don't know about them, and we need to work together to get those out there. There's not just DAV. There's us, there's the VFW. I mean, there's so many different that we can help each other do.
Right.
I know that you were talking about the, the activities that's going on with the programs with the in-house. Those that are mobile, our post is at the back gates. We have a meeting once a month, okay? We do all kinds of things. We go on the parades just like y'all do. We go and do to the schoolhouses where we do Americanism programs and things like that. Any veteran that is able to do, they're welcome to come with us and do things like that. So us working together like we do, we're getting better. And I see that. And it's not just because you're here. It's because you're listening to your staff. You're listening to Mr. Swan. I don't believe before that he got as much support as he does now. Did you before she came?
I can't answer that.
No, I'm just saying. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I'm just saying.
I will say I agree with you. Miss Mara has been kind of like
a catalyst.
very involved, and you can see the passion. Her taking care of veterans, and I also have heard in the community how you really take time to listen. You're there for the community, there for questioning, and you follow up. So yes, it has been kind of a warm.
Yeah.
It
just seems like everybody's trying now, whereas before it was, even including me, sour attitude. And we're not trying to do that. We're trying to, you know, we're not after your money, we're after your time. And that's all that matters.
And thanks for taking on the women's issues. That's been very helpful. And we're going to start doing GYN surgery here.
Oh, really? Oh, my God,
yep.
yes.
So we're moving along. Yep.
So, I mean, like I said, we have so many improvements that we have to make, but we have so many improvements that we have made, but it hasn't been put out there yet. I mean, very few people even know about the women's center out here.
Yeah.
You know, and just like he said, we're trying to get them back on the street, you know, get jobs, get clothing so that they can go on interviews and things like that. Those are things that the community can get involved with.
Sure.
Those are things you don't have to have a degree to come out here. You know, a lot of people's like, well, I can't even do this because I didn't never go to school and did it. You can't, that's not the way to think. And we have to change the opinion of the public. And that's what this is for.
As you can tell by a lot of these comments, we have a wonderful VA hospital here in Dublin. They're constantly making changes to serve our veterans even better, but they serve hundreds of thousands of veterans every year here, all over 52 counties throughout this part of Georgia. And we hope you've enjoyed this, learned a little bit, and Miss Mara and the staff here, Dr. Frank Jordan and Dean Swan, all these people, their door's always open here. So if you've got a problem, you just give them a call here, because I've not had a problem yet, a call from a veteran to the TV station that they've not solved here at the VA hospital. Before we do go, we do want to say about Mr. D. Eastridge. You've seen him here on TV 35 many times singing the national anthem. He sang How Great Thou Art right outside of building number 12 on the back side of the hospital every morning since he arrived here last August. Last August, he came to this VA hospital, lived in Fitzgerald, and he was given 3 months to live. Well, Mr. Eastridge just passed away this past week. He was a dear friend of this TV station. He become a great friend of mine, and I've taken him out in the community. He spoke at my local church group, my men's group, here a few months ago, and I can tell you it was one of the highlights in his week. So we're going to miss Mr. Eastridge, and I can tell you the patients and the staff here at this hospital are really going to miss him, because every morning in that courtyard he sang How Great Thou Art, and you'll hear a hush in that courtyard today in memory of Mr. D. Eastridge. Mr. Eastridge, we know you're in a better place. We love you, and we thank you for everything that you did for our community.
Oh Lord my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the world thy hands have made, I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, I bow throughout the universe displayed. Then sing my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul,